Welcome back to the Canadian Light Source Synchrotron. We are on location to shoot today's episode of Connect. It's an appropriate location, even though we're sort of changing gears for the second part of our show. Of course, this was one of the biggest construction projects in the history of Saskatoon. And now in this part of the show, we're going to talk about an upcoming project, or at least what we hope will be an upcoming project, the Kinsmen Learning Commons. Very happy to be joined by Curtis Kimpton from the Kinsmen Club, who is the lead of this project. Curtis, this is, I believe, the first time in the history of the show that I've been given homework on Connect, so thank you for that.
We're here to just help.
Yeah, you handed me this when you walked in. This brought back a lot of memories. Grade 1, 2, and 3, very cool, and even better, designed specially for us. The first page says, Connect the dots. That's very
We were
good.
thinking about you when we put this all together.
Perfect. It's like it was meant to be. This really leads right in, tells exactly what this project is all about. Before we get into that too much, though, let's talk a little bit about yourself, your involvement with the Kinsmen Club, and of course, the great work that you folks do in our city, really for quite some time.
Well, I've been involved with the club for just over 18 years. So I'm becoming one of the old boys, or sometimes they call the knife and forkers. But you know what, the Kinsmen Club has been around in Saskatoon for nearly 90 years. The work that's gone on by our forefathers in this community is unbelievable. Things like Kinsmen Park, and you start looking at the Kinsmen Arena, and you know, you look at almost any sports field and entertainment place in our community, and we've been involved, or our people have helped in the fundraising or somehow. The history of our organization really is, it's all about giving back into our community. It's how can we make Saskatoon a better place? And that's what I love about it. That's what drives me so much every day being involved with the organization. You know, you think back to, what is it now, 36 years ago when they started Telemiracle.
Yeah.
And you know, it was just an idea. A couple guys got together going, maybe we should try this. And they put up their own homes to do it. Like, if it would have gone sideways, it would have cost them everything.
Yeah.
So, you know what, the people that have come before us have taught us that, you know what, you got to take some risks, but you do it for the betterment of this community. And when you do that, everything works out incredibly well. And I love that.
Fantastic. Really, this project that we're talking about specifically today hits all of those criteria that you just mentioned. Kinsmen Learning Commons. Talk first of all, the idea. Where did this idea come from?
You know what, our club over the years has been, I won't use inundated, but we get a lot of requests from organizations, community-based organizations that are always looking for funding, whether it's for operational or looking for things that are, you know what, programming needs and things like that. And when we saw that the YWCA, the community village that's there, what an amazing piece they did 10 years ago, starting that, right? And it expanded so much that the organizations that are involved have evolved so much that there's not a lot of room left. So places, a lot of organizations had to leave, unfortunately. And when they left, we started going, why aren't we doing something else for these groups or organizations to be able to kind of build and build on that collaborative piece that they started? And you know what, that's where this really all started. Originally we thought, let's just make it so any community-based organization, let's throw them all into a pot and let's go, right? We need place, let's give them some space. Well, as we did more research, we really started to find out. We went down to Denver and looked at what they've got down there for some shared spaces, and we kept hearing from all organizations that, you know what, if you focus it in on one area, what you can do with a collaborative is unreal. And so what happens is that group jumps from here way up to here in what they can do for our community. So we started to look at it, and we were already looking at partnering with Reed Saskatoon, and we said, you know what, this is a natural fit. Why aren't we doing more with learning and literacy and mentorship and education sides of things? And that's where it evolved to. And it's been a great process. It's been a year and a half in the works where we've been listening to what the public has to say and what some of this community-based organizations have to say to try and figure out what is the right mix for this building so that it can have the greatest impact in Saskatoon. And that's really what it's about. It's about how do we help these individuals? Because when you start thinking about it, education is really the forefront. If we want to help with cutting down poverty, if we want to help with getting people out of the social services circles and things like that, and just the ability for somebody to help themselves, then we need to focus on education. You know, that is one of the greatest pieces we can do for our community, is build people.
For sure.
Allow them to grow. Allow them to be able to help themselves. And with that, everything can change.
Absolutely. You have a site in mind. Talk a little bit about the building. Quite a historical building in pretty much the oldest part of Saskatoon. Talk about the building that you're hoping to renovate and turn into the Learning Commons.
You know what? We're so fortunate. We came in St. George's Church down on 20th and Avenue M, or they're kind of in between 20th and 21st. They had an older building that they built, and the people of the parish built this building in the 60s. And what an amazing job they did, and I couldn't imagine the work that went into this thing, because it's beautiful. But it needs help, right? It needs new boiler system, needs new electrical. So what we've done is we've bought the land and the building off of the church, and we're going to build it into this Learning's Common. And the shared learning space, and that's going to be able to give us what we need, and that's that collaborative space where these groups can all work together. Now, that space is going to take us probably about $10 million to renovate that building, to be able to bring it up to what we need. We're going to also add a story on that building. So when they built it strong enough, the engineers tell us that, yeah, we can go up.
Wow.
So we're going to build an additional floor on it, because as we started this process, all of a sudden people kept going, we want in. How do we get in your building? So right now, you know what, without even starting this process, 70% of the space is asked for.
Wow.
With even adding that extra floor. So huge amount, which is terrific. Now the ability of what this does is it's going to be pretty cool, because the lower level is going to be a child care center. So the YMCA has come on board with us, and they're going to manage that whole child care center. It's going to be one of the largest in the province, 80 to 90 kids in this child care center. What that does, in my mind, is it takes maybe those single parent families, single mom, single dad, they didn't know where to put their kids so it would be safe, or maybe they didn't have an opportunity. In that area in the community in Riversdale, all the child care spaces are spoken for.
Sure.
There's waiting lists on every child care center. So this gives them another outlet that they can go to towards doing that and have a safe place for their kids. So we're going to actually dig away the lower level space of the parking lot and build about an 8-foot down playground for these kids. So the lower level becomes actually a walkout basement for these children, and they have huge light coming in through the big windows. So it doesn't seem like a lower level. And that to me is so important for kids. Sunlight is so important for their ability to grow and learn.
Absolutely. So as you say, a steep price tag for this. I know the Kinsmen are up to the task, but of course you're going to be turning to the community, looking to raise this money. Talk about that process, how you go about generating $10 million or so.
Yeah, it's an interesting process to think about how do we raise 10 million, but when you think about it, 10 million isn't a lot of money anymore. And I was asked by somebody, was that doable? Yeah, it's doable. Quite easy. Does it take work? Yes.
Sure.
Does it take partnerships? Yes. We need to be able to go to the community. We need to be able to really do it in 3 different ways. We have to have some private money, we have to have some public money, and government money. And so if everyone comes to the table, and unfortunately this isn't the sexy project, right? It's not a sports field, it's not something that's this big piece, right? But it's probably the most imperative piece. Education and building our youth and our seniors is so important to our community, but yet it's not the sexy one that everyone will write a check for. So it's going to take us a bit of work.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that, you know, we have to get a lot of volunteers. We have to get a lot of people out there knocking on the doors going, you know what, can you give us that $100? Can you give us that $100,000? And be able to get communities to do that. We've had some great discussions already started, both on the government level, but also in the the public community side, where we've had guys come up and go, yeah, I'd support that. Why wouldn't I? It's about bettering the community, and if we can teach people and educate them, we can help our community in such an immeasurable way.
Very good. We're just about out of time here, Curtis. Before we go, though, people want some more information. What's the easiest way for them to either find out information or hopefully donate?
Do you know what? The easiest way is to go to the Kinsmen Club of Saskatoon's website, kcos.ca. That is the easiest way. And really, our fundraising won't start until the new year. We're just getting to that point. So people will start seeing us a lot more in the new year. Probably that February, March, moving on to the springtime. That's when you're going to really see us out there pushing to try and get those dollars in and asking the community, you know what, please come out and help our community grow, and let's help educate these people.
And obviously it depends on when the money is, but quickly, do you have a timeline for when we might actually see it open?
You know what, in my heart, I want to see this open in fall of 2015.
Okay.
So we're a year and a half away, almost 2 years, but it'll take quite a bit of time to do all these renovations when you got a complete building and rebuild it.
Perfect. Well, Curtis, I have all the confidence in the world that with folks like you and the great work that the Kinsmen Club does, this will become a reality over the next couple of years. Thank you so much for coming down here to the synchrotron and telling us all about it today.
Well, thank you, and it's a pleasure to be with you and your company here today.
All right, a big thank you as well to Tom Ellis, who was on in the first part of the show from the Canadian Light Source Synchrotron. Been a great show. And thank you to you, as always, for watching. Don't forget, we want to connect with you. You can email us, shawtvconnect@shaw.ca. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook, or you can give us a call at 306-665-3796. I'm Simon Hyatt. Until next time, thanks for watching Connect.